Yo, I'm on some blogging shit. It's your dude Tank Lip. Welcome to the show. So, I've been on some theory shit today. So, what the fuck? Why wouldn't I do a blog on this? Interesting observation. What happened to news reports about serial killers? These fuckers must be mad jealous of the fucking terrorists. Remember when the news would report about there's a serial killer like on the loose and we need to go find whoever the fuck that is because people are getting killed and they think the same person is the culprit for all these separate killings, but it's one individual, and then there were copycats of those serial killers, and that's who got the main time on the media, okay, TV media, on the news, on some of that shit. And then it's the sign of the times. Somehow we transitioned into a different world where they must figure, not that serial killers are not out there doing their serial killing. You've got sick fuckers out there, but they're not getting any press. They're not getting any airtime on the fucking news. Because what is a serial killer at this point that kills 5 or 10 people when you have mass shootings that kill 20 or 40 people? Or 100 or 200 people or 500 people or 1,000 people? Or what about 10,000 or 20,000 people got fucking obliterated by some bomb? And so the news now and media reports in the fashion and in the context of terror attacks, terror events, terrorists. The new quote-unquote serial killer is the terrorists. Not even the terrorists, the terrorists. They're a group. And then they have their people and they go out and do random acts. The old-fashioned, if you will, serial killer probably still fucking out there, gets no media time. And I just think it's an interesting observation of the sign of the times, the micro and macro perspectives of how, and the tunnel vision along with that of how we view the world, the scope and vision of how we view the world today in this modern times, if you want to even call that. I really think we're on our way back to some primitive civilizations. So I almost hesitate to call this modern times because I think we're traveling backwards. Okay, I've thought that for a long time. I just don't always speak about it. Okay, on some of that type of shit. Okay, but the quote unquote serial killer is now the quote unquote terrorist. You don't hear, I mean, maybe once in a while you get a story. But for the most part, what monopolizes the media news on TV is either it's politics or ISIS or Al Qaeda or America's the terrorist, some type of terror organization. We somehow stopped looking for the individual serial killers. I don't know if they're jealous that they are not getting any airtime. I don't know if the terrorists, those groups, recruited these serial killers, so now they're just grouped in with that. But you don't hear the news talking about there's a serial killer on the loose. I just find that an interesting observation, that somehow we transitioned into a worse world where a serial killer or person that is allegedly suspected of 5 killings, 10 killings, this is a major manhunt or some pursuit to catch this person. No one gives a fuck to the point where they don't even broadcast it on the news. It's all a world war and terrorists. So I guess in the midst of things, or in the scheme of things, a serial killer is really a micro issue. I kind of understand it, actually. It kind of, in the context of things, makes sense What's 5 to 10 people getting killed in a world war where it's very casual to hear a report of 100 people just got killed from some type of attack? And as I mentioned just minutes ago, 1,000 people, 5,000 people, 10,000, 20,000 people. What is a serial killer that did a mass shooting and got 5 or 10 people at once, or on 5 separate days killed one person a day, and now they're responsible for 5 deaths? I guess in the context of things, I understand how that's not making the news. I'm just wondering, those people, like, they must be fucking going out of their mind, because a lot of them like the fucking press they get. That's part of how they get their rocks off, is fucking committing that shit, and then knowing they did it, and then the police are after them, and some of them even like to get caught. The devil likes to show his face. I mean, I understand that theory for a long time. Most of them like to take responsibility for it after they fucking string you along on the pursuit for a bit. They eventually they either do one where they get caught, or they just fucking turn themselves in. I'm just wondering, what fucking happened? This is a pretty fucked up world when that gets no coverage, because we're so busy covering the other bigger things, which we are fucked. We are so fucked. We can't even elect a new president without riots ensuing and boycotts. Forget about what's going to happen when the man's president. They didn't even let him step in office. It's already happening. And that's not to say that the guy wouldn't do a good job or isn't the man for the job. This is what we're fucking dealing with. The tragedy of the commons, where man is his own worst enemy, and let man have control of things instead of like God or the heavens or some shit, fucking just some divine plan, and let that play. Give man willpower, and look what man does with their willpower over time. It's called the tragedy of the commons. Fucking Google it. Where man is the destruction of himself and his world. This is what we've got. So don't fucking blame an election. Not that this was even one of the tangents I wanted to make. But don't fucking blame results of an election. Blame yourselves. Blame your fucking selves. All of you. All of you. Because God gave you willpower. And look what you fucking made of the world. Seriously. On some real shit. Anyway, I think I'm about done with my observations for the day. It must be 11 a.m. And I've got to go fucking meditate, because it's been one negative thing after another. Yeah, I understand. You'd be fucking... I'm not reading off a script here. I'm actually just kind of astro projecting what you might be thinking. Yeah, you would be exhausted if you did what I have been doing here this morning. I need a fucking filter or something, or just I try not to entertain it, but it's like you step in the dungeon and the rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper. So here I am on blog number 3 on some negative shit, and I need to fucking meditate, because I found nothing positive. I haven't had one positive blog today. I'm already into 3 blogs. I haven't talked one positive thing. It's just all negative. But at the same time, it's all truth. Okay? So unfortunately, ignorance is bliss, and I'm just too evolved and mature at this point to fucking subscribe to the ignorance just to get a little bliss. I guess I'm a realist. Oh, okay, yeah. I know. It would be better to be blind, is probably what you're thinking. Which is probably why I will be blind at some point. God will somehow help me out and fucking make me blind, so I don't have to look at this shit anymore. Because it's like, the more you see, the more you know, the more it hurts you. Jack Nicholson said, you can't handle the truth. No. Like, you can, but you can't, Like, it jades you. You get jaded over time. The jaded TANK LIPP. Help me, God. Go fucking check out that video. That was my best one. And I've made like 700 something of them since then. That was the best one. When I said jaded through time, curious for the cause of the commotion. And I was like, help me, God. Yeah. That shit was the truth. You get jaded the jaded times and the people get jaded. Peace. Tank Lip.